Ranking every BO2 weapon. This was a very hard task. There's 47 weapons. And if I missed one weapon or two weapons, that's fine. I counted 47. So hope I got all of them. And if you do see some like alerts pop up on the left of the screen, like someone subscribing or someone donating, it's because I was actually doing this live. I was getting the gameplay for all these weapons in a live stream. Not every single one, but I decided to, do most of it for a live stream. So if you ever do want to stop by, see if I'm live or anything like that, make sure you have notifications on and all that stuff. Because I thought about being live while getting gameplay for weapons, so I actually have more things to do and you guys can actually watch while I do this, kind of like behind the scenes kind of thing. And if you're wondering how I'm ranking these weapons, it's kind of overall, like my other rankings, overall how good are the weapons. So their damage, ammo, all that stuff is going to be considered for this list. And another huge thing I considered is their availability. So are they on the wall and how many maps are they actually available on? This list is not perfect by any means. I kind of struggled like I do with all my other lists because it's hard to rank weapons when you don't know the stats for them and you kind of just look at them and assume which weapons are better than others based on your criteria. I didn't look up a stats or anything. I just kind of had the list laid out and I was like, all right, what weapons are better than these weapons here? So if that makes sense, that's good. And without further ado, let's move on to the weapons, man. This is gonna be a long video, so make sure you just sit back and relax. But I think I forgot to say this, but I'm looking at the PAP versions of every single weapon, just to make that clear. So the worst weapon we have on this list is the War Machine. Now hear me out. If you think this weapon shouldn't be here, then I'll explain. I'll give you a good argument. So one, the weapon just doesn't have a place in this game. Every other weapon has a use. This just really doesn't have a use or purpose in this game. Now I will say, if you have insta-kill with this thing and you pap it, it is very good actually. It'll take out an entire horde of zombies one shot. It's good. But if you don't have an insta-kill or anything, this thing is useless. You don't really have PhD on this game. You do in Origins and technically Buried, but other than that, it's useless. It's an explosive weapon that can kill you, and it becomes like a 3-shot on round 20, which is terrible. You run out of ammo really fast this thing, and you just never want to pack it. It's awful. And next we have the Ballistic Knife. So whenever I include this on the list, I don't actually include the co-op version because I have no friends to play with. Now, if I was including a co-op version, it'd be a lot higher, but since I'm not, this thing is just kind of useless. It only one-hit knife, so you pack it up to like round 10, and after that, it's just not worth using. Everything else is just better to use than this thing because it will not get you past round 10. Next we have the SMR. Must I really explain? Everyone knows that this weapon is kind of like the laugh weapon. Laugh at it. It's the worst. Iron sights don't even work on this thing. The bullets actually don't even go straight. They'll go wherever they want. They can go behind you. They can go to the skybox. Doesn't matter. Wherever they go, that's their choice, I guess. And when you do pack this, I will say it gets a lot of ammo, like 420 shots, I think, but it has such low damage. I will say that it's not the absolute worst thing ever. It is usable on like the earlier rounds to get points, to get kills. If you have to use it, you can, but it's really not good. It's one of the weakest weapons in this game. Doesn't even have bullets that go straight, and it's just an awful weapon. Next, you have the Cap 40. This thing is really just a point weapon. You don't get it to kill. You just get it to get points real quick and then put it back in the box. If you do pack it, it really doesn't get much better. It only gets like 3 more shots in the magazine, barely even gets more ammo, and that's kind of it, the Cap 40. It's really not good at all. Next, you have the Shik'em. If you know me, I would say come after I get the weapon. If you're not familiar with that, I'm sorry if that's kind of weird, but the Shik'em is just not good. It's kind of similar to the Cap 40. You get it out of the box and you get points with it. That's kind of what it's used for. You don't use it as a killing weapon. I will say it is pretty strong. It's not amazing, but when you pack it, it becomes a 4-round burst. But you don't get it to kill zombies with. You just get it to get points. So packing punching it is just a waste of points. So I'm sure most of us have gotten the B23R at one point or another. We kind of get it early on in the game and then you trade it out. You never really pack a punch it. When you do pack it, it becomes full auto, which is nice, but it only has like 200 bullets. For a full auto pistol that has 200 shots, that is really, really low. This thing runs out of ammo so damn fast. The damage is okay. Not the best thing ever, but it's just not that amazing. It is on the wall. I will say that. It goes this high because it's on the wall. It could even be higher since it's on the wall, but like, you never get it. You never pack it, and everything else is just kind of better overall. Next, you have the RPG. I will say this thing is pretty decent. When you pack it, you're able to shoot 8 rockets at a time. Not like one shot is 8 rockets, but you're able to spam 8 rockets at once, which is nice. But the problem is you don't really have PhD on this game other than, Buried. I don't even think this gun is on Origins, so Origins wouldn't even work either. But when you do get this and you pack it, it can kill you really quick. No PhD, you'll die really, really fast. It doesn't have the highest damage ever, but you're able to spam 8 rockets at a time, which can be pretty decent if you use it in the right situations. But it's really not that strong. It is a very, very weak launcher. Now we have like 3 shotguns in a row. I don't know if they really should be this low, but they all just don't really have the ammo. So the lowest shotgun on this list, I feel, is the S12. I will say, this thing is strong. Don't get me wrong, it is a strong shotgun. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it goes here because it has low ammo. It has like 60 shots. You'll run out of ammo so quick, you won't even make your points back. and it just doesn't really fit zombies that well. If it had like 100 shots, it would be so much better. Next, you have the M1216. I only say this is better than the S12 because it has more ammo. I think this has around 100 shots, and when you pack it, it becomes like a 6-round burst. Not a burst, but like you shoot 6 shots, and then you have to like twist the ammo thing on it. I don't know really what you would even call that. I have no idea what the name of that is. I don't even think any other weapon has that kind of feature other than this, but it's kind of like the S12. It's strong, but its ammo is really not up there. And actually, we have the Remington Shock. I don't know if it should go this low, but it's one of like the worst wall weapons in this game, like right above the B23R. This thing, it's okay. I believe the S12 and M1216 are stronger than it, but this is actually on the wall. So you're able to go back, buy ammo, and it's nice. But no one's really ever pack-a-punching the Remington shotgun, because every other wall weapon in this game, besides like the B23R, even the B23R kind of has a purpose, but the Remington shotgun is way stronger than that. And I guess that's where these 3 shotguns go. If you don't agree, I understand these shotguns are strong, as I said, but they don't really have a use in this game, because every other weapon above these, they're just so much better. I might dog on the FAL a little too much. I always put it like really low in my list, and people say it's not that bad. Why are you putting it so low? You guys got a point. The FAL isn't really that bad. It's just me personally, I just can't stand it. It's a 3-round burst, and it really doesn't shoot that fast, but it is pretty strong. I will say that. But it just really isn't an optimal weapon to use in this game. For all you that say that I call it bad and you don't like me for that, I will say that it is strong. I'll say it again, it is a strong weapon. But 3-round bursts don't work. If it was 4-round burst, I just feel like it would be so much better. And if you're able to shoot it faster, it would just overall be so much better of a weapon. It has good ammo, but it just doesn't feel like it belongs in zombies. Now the M16, this just doesn't really fit BO2. It's always in spots that you really just don't go to that much, and it just shouldn't really be in this game in my opinion. It is strong, it has the launcher on it, it's on the wall, but who really goes out of their way to pack-a-punch this thing on this game? You really don't do that. Now it's a Type 25. This thing is so annoying to use. It has a lot of recoil. When you pop it, the recoil gets reduced a lot, but it just has recoil anyway. I wish it didn't have recoil. It's so annoying. And this thing is only in the box. You could say the M16 is better because, you know, it's on the wall, but you're using the Type 25 so much more than the M16, I feel like. And when you pack Type 25, it is really strong. I will say that it is pretty strong. The ammo clip doesn't get bigger, but it has fast mags on it, so you reload almost instantly. It's really nice, but you run out of ammo pretty quick with this thing. So if you'd say the M16 is better, I understand where you're coming from, but this is just how I'd rank these in my opinion. It's not really an opinion video, but it's just, this is how I ranked. Now the Olympia. I don't know if it should be this high, but it's a wall weapon, so I'm putting it here. It's decently strong. I know in Black Ops 1 ranking, I put it really low because it really was not good in that game. But this game, it gets much better because of Double Tap 2.0. But there's also a lot of weapons in this game that are really, really good. And I'm not saying the Olympia is bad. I'm just saying that it really just doesn't work too well for zombies because you shoot 2 shots at a time and reload. So you're not really going to be putting that much damage into the zombies. You're going to probably be like putting in damage into the zombies and reloading about the same amount of time, which you want to put more damage and you are reloading. But the Olympia goes here. I mean, you can get it on round 1, but the M14 I feel like is just better in every single way. Now it's the MP5. I personally feel like this really shouldn't go this low, but it's on the wall and it doesn't get much ammo. When it's on PAP, you get 150 shots. And when you pack it, you get 240. It's really not much of an upgrade. If it had like 350, so much better. And you're also not using this to kill zombies. You're using it to get points mainly. People get it because it's really not that strong. So if I'm really thinking about it, this should be lower on the list because it's weak. It's not really that good of a weapon. Its availability is good. It's on the wall, which is just fantastic. But if you're looking at it as a stats weapon, it's just not good. I really don't want to put the KSG this low because it is a solid shotgun, but it's only on Origins, and you can get it from dig sites, which is pretty rare, and you could also get it from the box. So its availability is very, very limited, so that's why it kind of gets like all the way towards the bottom of the list, because when you're playing Origins, there's so many good weapons on that map, and the KSG is just kind of there. It's a good weapon, don't get me wrong. I love how it's like a slug shotgun. It's really unique. It looks cool, and I mean, it's just a great weapon. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't pack-a-punch this thing if, you know, you wanted a strong weapon, but there's just so many more weapons in Origins that are so much better. Availability, as I said, it's just not there. It's only in Origins, and that's why it's going here, because its availability is just very, very limited. Now it's the aim at A1. I personally just don't like burst weapons in this game. It is a 4-round burst, so I will say it is very strong. It's solid. It's on most of the BO2 maps, and when you get it and you pack it, it's solid choice. It has almost no recoil, and I just love the red dot it has. It has a really nice red dot. You can line up headshots with this thing, and the headshot multiplier is really good. But the problem with this thing is that it's a burst. You want to have a full auto weapon that is putting in more damage faster and faster and faster. And this, you know, it's a 4-round burst, so you're going to have to use a burst, then you have to wait and burst again. It's not really that great. It has good ammo, and that's kind of it. It's like your very average weapon in this game. It's like the BO2 weapon. When you think of BO2, you think of this weapon. And the AK-74U. This, I really didn't know where to put it, because it's on the wall on almost every single map in this game. But the problem is you never really go out of your way to pack-a-punch it. Like, there's so many other good choices, just like the M16. It kind of just gets overshadowed by most of the weapons. It doesn't feel like it belongs on BO2. It's good, has good ammo, it's alright, and all that stuff on the wall, but you just don't really use it. And next we have the M1927, or the Tommy gun. I think almost everyone loves this weapon. It's only available on Origins and Mob of the Dead on BO2, so its availability is limited, but it's on the wall. On Mob of the Dead, I believe it has 2 spots. I might be wrong about that. I know it's on like the docks area. I can't remember if it has another spot or not. I don't know. I know it's in the box in Origins. I know it's only in the box in Origins. And it's just a solid weapon. It has good ammo. Not the highest damage. You use it to get points, but it's just so useful for like getting points and all that stuff. If you're playing Mob of the Dead, it's so convenient. Like once you get down to the docks, you're kind of like running out of ammo. You don't have a really good weapon, and then you just buy the Tommy gun. It's 1,500 points, but you'll make up your points so quickly with this thing. Next we have the Ballista. If you're wondering why this thing is so much higher up on the list than everything else, it's a one-shot into around 30. I'm very confident that in the head, one-shot to around 30. Not a lot of weapons in this game can do that. I mean, it's mainly like the snipers that can one-shot that high. This is the weakest sniper in this game, which is so sad, because the Ballista multiplayer is just godly. But in zombies, it's still good, but it just isn't super amazing. If you would put it lower than the other weapons I just said, I agree. Ballista, it's just hard to rank it because it's on the wall, but it's only in Origins, and you kind of only use it in the early rounds unpacked. You don't really pack a bunch of it to use it in the later rounds. Okay, so now we're moving into weapons that are actually pretty good. And the first weapon I have on that kind of like good tier, I guess we'll go to like maybe C tier, B tier area, like average, is a 5.7. The single 5.7, I feel like is just not anywhere near the dual 5.7. It is strong, I will say that. It is a very strong pistol, but it's only a single pistol. If you're like trapped in a corner, you're not making it out of that corner, and you have to kind of have like a trigger finger with this thing for it to actually do a lot of damage. It can do damage really quick, but the thing is it's dependent on you. How fast can you spam the trigger, which I feel like isn't a good thing you want to have with the weapon. You don't want it to be like dependent on how good you are at pressing a button. It should just be like, if you hold the trigger, will the zombies die? If you hold the trigger for this thing, they won't die. It's a single pistol, has good ammo, but that's kind of it. It's in the box. I mean, if you're playing Origins, it does on the wall, but like, who buys this on the wall in Origins? I don't know who does that. Now the AK-47. You might be wondering why this is this low, because it actually is a pretty solid weapon, but it only has 300 shots when you pack a punch it. I thought I got around like 420-ish area for 50. I was dead wrong. And the problem with this is it's very limited. It's only on Mob of the Dead, and it's only in the box. Most of the time, you're going to be getting the Vitrolic Withering and like trying to get the Mark II or the ray gun. You don't really get the AK-47 that much. I mean, if you get it, you'll probably use it, but other than that, you're not really using it much. It's strong, but that's kind of it. After that's the MTAR. I personally hear that some people just don't like this weapon because it's so annoying to use. When you pack it, it's pretty solid. It has much more ammo than the AK-47. I think it has around like 450, which is solid. It's on most of the maps. I think it's actually on all of the maps besides Origins, I think, which is good. You want to have, you know, weapons on almost every single map if they're solid weapons. This is probably like the most average weapon you're going to get in this game. And that's kind of it. If you're going to get it out of the box, may as well take it and pack a punch it. It's solid. Now the next weapons we have, they're literally just reskins of each other. The Python and Remington New Model Army. I'm putting the Python here first because I feel like the Remington New Model Army is just better looking than it. They're identical in stats. They're literally the same weapon. It's kind of just whatever you want. I mean, they're solid weapons. I think they one-shot in the body until like around 21-ish, and in the head, I'm assuming somewhere around like around 25 or so. They're solid pistols. They're very strong pistols, actually. They're pretty solid. I don't know if they should go above the MTAR, but since the Python's almost at every single map, just like the MTAR is, and it's stronger, I feel like it can go above the MTAR. And if you're like me, Remington New Model Army is just superior than the Python because it just looks so much better, and it just feels better. But they're identical, so I can't really put the Remington New Model Army higher than the Python. I just can't do it. So now I have one of my favorite weapons in this game, which is the M27. It's so tragic that it's only on Nuketown. This thing has really clean iron sights. It feels relatively strong when I was using it, but the biggest problem, as I said, it's only on Nuketown, and it also has another flaw, which is it only has a 30 round mag when you pack it. If it had like 40, 45, so much better, but it's only 30 rounds. And that's kind of it for it. I mean, there's not much to talk about the M27 because it's just your generic AR, but I mean, if it was on more maps, it would be so much higher up on the list. Might get a little bit of hate for this, but I have the M14 next. Now, if you're wondering, why is this so high? Well, one, it has 200 shots when you pack a punch it, which is a lot for a semi-auto rifle. Two, it's on the wall in every spawn room, pretty much, besides Origins. And three, it's actually really, really strong for it being a starting wall weapon. If you don't agree for it going this high, I understand. But like when you use this thing on like round like mid 20s, 30s, it actually is still killing pretty damn quick. So I'm just gonna put it here. After that, we have the PDW. This is kind of hard to put in a good spot because it kind of depends on what kind of person you are, to be honest. Like the PDW, it's not super strong, but it has 50 rounds of the mag for an SMG. That is a lot for an SMG. I think the PPSH is like the only other weapon that has more than this, or has a lot of ammo for an SMG. Like I know the PDW and the PPSH, they're like one of the two highest ammo count SMGs, I believe, for like one single clip anyway, not like the full thing. But if you're playing on Buried, you can put the PDW wherever you want, which is nice. And on Die Rise, it's like right at a spawn. So you can get this thing really, really early on. I wouldn't say it's like your go-to choice for high rounds, but early rounds, pack a punch this thing, it is amazing. That's on the wall, so you can keep buying ammo. After that, we have the dual 5.7. When I was talking about the single 5.7, I was saying how the dual 5.7 is miles above the single. And I'm still gonna stand by that. And if you disagree, I don't know, man, you might be wrong about that. Because the dual 5.7, it is so damn strong. I believe it has somewhere around like 500 bullets between both pistols, which is amazing. It is very strong. I believe it can carry you to the 30s relatively easy, which not a lot of weapons in this game can actually do that. And this is literally 2 pistols. I believe they're on every single map, which is amazing. Next we have the MP40. I don't know if this should go this high, but it has 3 wall weapon spots on Origins. 1 at Gen 2, 1 at Gen 4, and 1 like right when you go into no man's land area. It's like right next to excavation, which is amazing. Not a lot of weapons even get like 2 wall spots. This gets 3, which is amazing. I know it's limited to Origins, but almost every time you play Origins, you're getting this thing. So it's just fantastic. And it's honestly a lot stronger than I remember it being. So if you get surprised if the Uzi's this high, hear me out. The Uzi has 3 spots in Mob of the Dead, which is fantastic. I mean, it's only Mob of the Dead, but you almost always get the Uzi just like how you do with the MP40. But I believe the Uzi is so much stronger than the MP40. I mean, you only get a 25 mag clip when you pack it, so it doesn't even really get like a bigger clip, which is really not that good. But if you pack it, oh my god, is it strong. And now, next we have like the RPD and the hammer. They're very similar. Like I find them to be almost identical, but like one reloads faster than the other. So I'm putting the RPD next. It's strong. I believe it has somewhere around like 750 bullets, which is a lot, or maybe 900. I actually don't quite know, but has a lot of ammo. The reload is actually slower than the hammer, which hammer is actually next. I believe it's better than the RPD because it has a faster reload. I believe they have very similar ammo counts, very similar damage. They're just very similar weapons. I think the RPD does have more ammo, but I'd rather have a faster reloading LMG than more ammo, I guess. Now I have the Scorpion. This originally was going to be right behind the M27, but then I realized how insanely strong this weapon is. Literally on round 28, it takes like 3 bullets to the head if you have double tap, and they die. It's absolutely insane. The only problem with this is it runs out of ammo so damn fast. And there is other problems with it, like how it's only exclusive to Origins, and, you know, there's just so many other weapons that outshine it. But if you get this weapon, pack-a-punch it. It is absolutely insane. And next I have the STG. I believe this has 2 spots on Origins, or 3. I think it actually has 3, so 1 at Gen 6, 1 at the excavation site, and then 1 in Crazy Place, which is great. It's a very strong weapon. It's weird because on World at War, it's paper thin, and it really isn't good. And then they put it into Black Ops 2. It's a completely different weapon. I really do genuinely feel like it could go this high. It's a strong weapon, has 3 wall spots, and most of the time you're gonna grab it. You can even get it for free out of the free weapon chest for the 115 headshots, which is just amazing. You might disagree with the death machine being here since, you know, it has like the most ammo out of any weapon in any COD game, like 1100 rounds, which is absurd, but it's only on Mob of the Dead. It's a camping weapon. You literally have like the slowest mobility of any weapon in any COD game, I believe, so you can't even really train with it. Mob of the Dead has like no camping spots, and it only feels like it goes in Mob of the Dead. If it was in any other map, it wouldn't fit right. But it just doesn't feel like it should be in Mob of the Dead because it just doesn't have a really good place to be there. Granted, it is an insane weapon, don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't really work that well from Mob of the Dead. After that, I have the Executioner. I believe one of the strongest pistols in any COD game. It's a one-shot to around 33, which is absolutely insane. It's almost on every single map, I think, besides Origins. I think that's it. I think it's on every other map besides that. And it's just absolutely insane. You get 105 shots in Pack-a-Punch. You're not really going to be running out of ammo until you get past run 33 because you're gonna have to be using a lot of ammo to kill the zombies. But it's overall just an amazing weapon. If you want to have an absolutely insane weapon early on that has no splash damage or anything, get the Executioner. It is a savior weapon under round 33. Alright, so now we're going into the top 10 best weapons in this game. And most of you might disagree with the Barrett being in our top 10. So obviously, we know the Barrett does not have a whole lot of ammo. When you pack it, the ammo just isn't there. It has like 50 shots, which isn't great. The recoil, there still is a little bit of recoil, but not nearly as bad as unpapped. But the thing with this thing, it is the second strongest weapon, I believe, in this game if we're talking about bullets. This is one shots until round 38, which is insane. There's only one other weapon that's stronger than this thing, and it's obviously higher in the list. And this thing's almost available in every single map, I believe, besides Origins, and it's just so damn strong. So if you disagree, I understand where you're coming from, but not a lot of weapons even have the damage this thing has. One shot to round 38. How can you say this thing is bad? If you use it right, you can get a lot of kills with it, and it's insanely strong. How can you say this thing's bad? I don't get it. Number 9, we have the Scar. This might be higher on some other people's lists. I know some people think that this thing is absolutely amazing, but it's not quite as amazing as some people say it is. I mean, yes, it is very good, but it's only on Origins. You can get it out of the free 115 headshot reward, which is nice, but it won't bring you to super high rounds. It'll bring you to maybe like the 30s. It kills the Panthers really quick. It is strong, I'll give it that, but there's just other weapons you can get that are better than this thing. The staffs, the Rigger Mark II, you know, the Mauser, like there's other weapons in Origins that are just better than this thing overall. It is great, don't get me wrong, it's an amazing weapon, but there's still weapons that are better than this thing. Number 8, we have the MG08. This is one of the weapons that are better than the Scar, in my opinion. I believe so. You are guaranteed to get this thing for free if you get all the discs around the map with the Maxis drone. It has, I believe, 700 shots or 600, and it's an amazing LMG. It has ricochet bullets. If you don't know what that means, the bullets basically like bounce around, which is really cool. The iron sights are amazing. It sounds great, and it's just one of the most unique weapons we have seen. Granted, it's not, you know, available on any other map besides Origins, but it's just such an amazing LMG, and I believe it is one of the fastest reloading LMGs in COD Zombies history, which is amazing. Now I have the Galil. I don't know if it should be this high, but it's literally available on every single BO2 Zombies map, which is amazing. It has high damage. It has over 500 rounds for an AR, which is just a lot for an AR. Has high damage and all that stuff. Has great sights, and you just can't go wrong with the Galil. It's pretty easy to get out of the box, and it's just amazing. What else can I say about it? It's a great weapon. All right, number 6, we have the DSR. This one shots until round 39, or unless if you're on town and killing the zombies that are on fire, one shots all the way to round 40. I believe this is the highest damage per bullet weapon in this game if we're talking about, you know, just bullets. I believe it's the highest. It's insane. It has 104 shots, so you really won't be running out of ammo until you get to that point where it starts two-shotting in the head. It has iron sights that are super clean. It reloads fast with speed cola. It's just a great weapon to have. You really can't go wrong with it. All right, bringing us into our top 5 spot, we have the LSAT. This is available, I believe, on Mob of the Dead, Buried, and Nuketown Zombies. So it's only available on 3 maps, but the thing is it's a wall weapon on Buried. You can get this thing on round 2, and the only downside to it being on the wall is you have to have the Paralyzer in order to buy more ammo for it, but it's on the wall. You can get it on round 2. It has a lot of ammo, it has really high damage, and it's amazing. How can you go wrong with an LMG that is on the wall? It's just insane. Number 4, we have the AN94. This has 650 bullets for an AR that you can have the choice where to put it on Buried. You can literally have it like right next to you when you're camping. It's insane. Some people say that this is like the best weapon in this game. I don't believe it is, and I guess the stats also kind of say that, but I will say that it is definitely a top 4 or a top 5 weapon in this game. 650 bullets, as I said, high damage. They can bring you to like 30s relatively easily on the wall. It's just insane. You can't go wrong with it. Now our top 3. This, I believe, is the best bullet weapon in this game, the SVU. This one shots around 37, so it's, I believe, the 3rd weakest sniper in this game. Obviously, it's better than the Ballista, but not better than the Barrett or DSR, but it's the best sniper in the game. This is because 1 and 1 shots around 37, as I said. 2, it has 200 shots. It's a semi-auto sniper, and it's on the wall. You can choose where you want to put it on Buried. This will carry you to like the mid 40s, maybe even 50s if you have like 2 people just spamming it. Oh god, the headshots, dude, it's crazy. This is probably the strongest weapon in this game, talking about bullet-wise. Now, number 2, we have the Mauser. I don't know if this should be here, if it should be like above the SVU or not, but I mean, it goes from like the worst weapon in the game to a mini Mark II, and you can dig it up from the ground. You can get free ammo and all that stuff. It's amazing. I don't know how you can go wrong with this thing. I mean, if you say that the SVU is better or the AN94 is better, I understand, but still, it's the Boomhilda. How can you say that this thing is not like top 3? Number 1, if you disagree with the 1911 being at the top, the Mustang and Sally, I don't know what to say to you, man. I believe this is the strongest weapon in this game and the best. I think it does the most damage per shot. I said the SV is best per bullet, but this shoots a grenade. So I think this is the strongest non-wonder weapon or something like that, I think. Yeah, this is our #1 spot. I really don't think it should be a surprise to anybody, but if you do say the SVU or the A94 is better, I understand where you're coming from. Alright, that has been the list. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and all that stuff. This was a long video. 47 weapons, almost half 100 weapons. There's like 47, almost 50. That's just crazy, man. I put a lot of time and effort into this video. Also, as I said at the beginning, if you want to catch my live streams when I'm doing this, because I'm probably going to start getting gameplay on stream for a lot of like my videos and stuff, like just random gameplay videos. Not my challenge. I mean, I probably could do my challenges too. But yeah, just make sure to turn bell notification on so you don't miss my streams or my videos or anything. With that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, boys.